So it's about 5:40. I slept on the top of Pine Mountain right here. I looked at the map last night and yeah, I passed over, shoot, I forgot the name of it already. The other peak, I think it was Dawson, maybe not. But anyways, I got to Pine Mountain last night right at dark. Came out at this spot and found it was flat and had a great view of everything. Great view of the city below. Unfortunately, there was a lot of smoke, but it seems to be, I mean, you can still see it in the air. And then of course there is Mount Baldy, Mount San Antonio. So, yeah, I actually went to bed at 8 o'clock, woke up around 3, pretty much wide awake, but I didn't really want to walk. I had enough moonlight to walk, but I wanted to be able to record, so I figured I'd just rest up a little bit more, stay in my sleeping bag till 5:30. So yeah, I feel a lot better after getting much needed rest. So we're heading down Pine Mountain, and you can see the Blue Ridge over there in the distance, so there might be some uphill, but nothing like yesterday. It should be a cakewalk. I mean, yesterday I went up San Antonio Mountain, then I went down San Antonio Mountain, then I went up another mountain, and then I went up another mountain. So there was so much elevation gain yesterday, and by the time I got to bed, I was literally huffing and puffing, just trying to get my energy back. Kind of felt like that. Oh, my stick. Dropped it. Yeah, this stick has come in handy. My walking stick. Without it, man. Yeah, definitely don't want to come on these trails without a walking stick. But yeah, here there's a lot of shell, but I mean, it's the good kind of shell because you're not sliding. What I had to do going up Cucamonga Peak, that shell was, there was no trail where I went. There might be another path, and I probably took the harder way. So if I ever do it again, I'll try to check out going up the other wash towards the other side of Etiwanda Peak. But yeah, the batteries on my other camera are almost dead. So I got the GoPro. I got 3 batteries on that, but the only thing, I like my other camera for the zooming shots, so I'm going to try to save that battery as much as I can for those unique shots that I can't get with the GoPro, and then hopefully I'll get everything I want. So from where I'm standing now you can look off in the distance and see Mount Baden Powell. That's where I need to be, way over there. So I mean, I still have quite a bit of walking to do. So obviously I'm not going to stay at Guffey. I'd considered Blue Ridge Campground, because they have they have toiletries and campsites and other maybe basic amenities, picnic tables, I think. So, and a campfire, which I wouldn't have anyways because I didn't bring anything for campfires. But you know, if you ever wanted that, they have it. They have the fire pits, I believe. So I was thinking of staying there last night. By the time I got to the top of Pine Mountain and looked down, pretty much realized you're not gonna make it there. So I'd like to get further than Blue Ridge today, and I'm aiming for either Paradise Springs or South Fork Campground. Now, I can go to South Fork Campground, and I don't think it costs any money. It should be free. And it's by a creek, South Fork. So that's a consideration. Paradise Springs, what I like about that will cost some money, but it's got a really interesting history about it. Back in the early 1900s, a lot of Hollywood stars would go there as their weekend getaway. And then it kind of fell out of fashion, I think, with the Depression, and then they turned it into a trout farm, and eventually became a camp for weekend getaway people. So it's still kind of living up to its original goal. A lot of people go there and go swimming in the pool, or they go fishing in the trout ponds. I'm not much of a fisher anymore, but it's kind of nice to watch the fish or watch other people who are fishing. And then they also have teepees there. They've got them elevated on wood, I believe, a wood frame, so you're off the ground, and then they have the teepee over it, and you could sleep in that. And then they also have cabins that you can rent, I believe. I'm not sure how many, but I'd kind of like to include Paradise Springs in my journey. And some people, you know, they might not want to go to the St. Andrews Abbey. They're content finishing at a place like Paradise Springs. So, you know, I think it would be nice to offer several options for an ending place. And Paradise Springs is pretty much, it's really close to the St. Andrews Abbey, so I mean, you could do both. You could go to both of those places if you wanted, or you could go to neither. You could just go to the South Fork Campground. One thing I've learned from this trip is, you know, the best plans you make, they always end up changing a little bit. So that's something you gotta be ready for. And then you figure you only walk so fast as a person. So I mean, the night that I spent at the Balding Notch, I was supposed to be at the top of Mount San Antonio, but you know, that didn't happen. And then, of course, you know, I enjoyed myself there and met some people, and that changes your plans a little bit. But I wouldn't have wanted to have missed out on those opportunities to meet people and talk. I really enjoyed meeting the Korean hiker in his late 70s, still hiking away. I mean, that's kind of what I want to see myself doing. I don't want to be in a convalescent home in my 60s or 70s. So it's like I met my role model, and he gave me information for his blog, an article I think written about him, from Korea to Mammoth Lakes or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna check it out. And so yeah, I met a lot of people. I mean, I've gone on a lot of hiking trips, and I've never met as many people as I met on this trip. Maybe it's because it was a vision quest, I don't know. Because I certainly wasn't expecting all of that, all of what happened to happen. The people that I met were really kind and sharing and willing to go out of their way to help me without even me telling them. I mean, I told them I had enough food, but they still wanted to offer me food. And the couple who gave me a ride up to the ski lifts, yeah, they wanted to take me out for dinner, or, you know, they drove me up to the ski lifts and they gave me $5, and we exchanged information, and they want to see my pictures. So yeah, it's really exciting to see such interest in what I'm doing, and I hope I can either make an interesting documentary or write a really great book, or both. I kind of want both. But yeah, I just came up here hoping that I would find something, some answers. And I think the universe, I think God, I think my guardian angels, I think they were listening. So that's really, I mean, some of the stuff, I mean, I've been researching energy healing a lot. And what are the odds that a music festival, which I didn't know was happening, would be happening, called Mystic Mountain. It was their first time up here at the Valdi Notch. But because of that, I met a guy, and he turns out to be an energy healer. So it's like, wow, what are the odds of that happening? I mean, it's not an easy thing to find people who are energy healers, and yet here I am running into them. The other one being at work, you know. I've met Annette at work. She's not on my shift, but I became friends with her through Julian, who is my friend on third shift. What are the odds that I go to a place like, work at a place like AutoZone, and then I discover that Annette is a Reiki energy healer? So, I mean, it's just crazy. It's a small world, and there are messages coming to us all the time if we will stop and pay attention, if we'll look for them. So, I mean, to find, when I went to the estate sale, I hadn't been studying energy healing for a while, or laying on of hands, or faith healing. I'd kind of put it to the side for a while. And then my wife and I, when we moved, we got interested in estate sales so we can get furniture and stuff for our house. Well, what's so interesting is after we got all the furniture, we still liked going to estate sales, but I didn't want to buy a lot, so I'd just look at their books. And so yeah, I got quite a lot of books. But it's pretty crazy how many books seem to be placed in my path. Like, I came across the book The Gift of Hands That Heal. I believe it was by Bill Moyer. And he was talking about how after his son died tragically, he was kind of at a loss, and he started having a lot of different spiritual experiences, receiving messages from his son. And then he started opening up to different energy healing through meditation and whatnot. And then he became an energy healer. So I read his book, and then I started reading other books that he referenced, other authors like Ruth Montgomery, who wrote a book about an energy healer, I believe in the early 1900s, 1950s. And so I started reading more on it, and I wouldn't say that I emit energy yet, or I know how to, but it feels like I'm being guided in that direction.